Welcome back, everybody, to the Deep Dive. We're back with another deep dive. And today we are tackling something that's really important to anyone working in the world of clinical trials.
Absolutely.
But we're not talking about the science today.
Nope.
We're talking about the business side of things.
Right.
And specifically,
Yes.
we're going to be diving deep into how to make sure you are getting the most out of your vendors and suppliers.
Yeah. You really got to watch those budgets.
Got to stretch those dollars.
Absolutely. And that's what we're looking at today.
So to help us out with this deep dive, we are going to be taking a look at some advice from the Global Costing Task Force
Yeah, some really smart people.
aimed at clinical trial financial management teams.
Yeah, the folks who really got to keep things running smoothly.
Exactly. And the task force had some great advice that we're going to break down today.
Some really useful stuff.
So think of it this way. Imagine contract negotiation like a game.
Okay.
And winning this game means saving your budget a whole ton of money.
That's a game I want to win.
We all want to win that game.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're going to be uncovering today.
Yeah, let's dive in.
So let's start with the core idea that the Global Costing Task Force really wants us to focus on.
Okay, shoot.
What's the big takeaway here?
Well, it might sound kind of simple, but their core recommendation is that you got to regularly review and renegotiate those contracts that you have with vendors and suppliers.
Okay.
It's all about making sure those contracts are still cost effective.
So it's not enough to just sign the contract and stick it in a drawer somewhere
Oh, definitely not.
and forget about it.
No. Got to stay on top of it.
You really got to make it a habit to go back, look at it again.
Right, because things change,
Yeah.
Like what might have seemed like a great deal a couple years ago
Yeah.
might not be the best deal now.
Okay, so I think a lot of people listening probably get that, intuitively.
Yeah.
We all know that things change. You should probably check in. But the task force doesn't just say go renegotiate. They actually give you some specific steps to take.
Oh, yeah. They lay out a whole roadmap.
So what are some of those actionable steps that they suggest?
Well, one of the big ones they highlight is the importance of benchmarking.
Okay, so for anyone who isn't familiar with that term, what exactly does that mean?
Yeah, so basically benchmarking means you're comparing your contracts to what everyone else in the industry is doing.
Okay.
So, you're looking at things like what kind of prices are other institutions negotiating?
Okay,
What are the standard terms out there?
I got it.
And this gives you a really good sense of where you might be able to, tighten things up a little bit.
Get a better deal.
Exactly.
Find some savings.
Right, because if you see that other institutions are getting much lower prices for the same service or product,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good indicator that you might be overpaying.
So basically, it's kind of like doing your homework before you make a big purchase.
Exactly.
You're not just going to walk into a car dealership and be like, okay, well, whatever the sticker price is, I'll take it.
No, you got to shop around.
Yeah, you got to do some research.
You got to know what a fair price is.
And it sounds like that's what the task force is recommending
Yeah, you got to be informed.
when it comes to your contracts, too.
Right, and when you're informed, you're in a much stronger position to negotiate better terms.
Okay, so another piece of advice that I found really interesting was the task force's focus on identifying flexible terms.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
So what exactly do they mean by that?
So sometimes you get a contract and it's got all these clauses,
Uh-huh.
and some of those clauses might not actually be all that great for you,
Okay,
especially in the long run.
got it.
Like, for example, you might have a contract that locks you into a set price for a certain service
Yeah,
for a set period of time.
okay.
But what if the price of that service drops a lot during that time?
Oh, yeah, then you're stuck.
Exactly. You're
Yeah.
stuck paying more than you need to.
That makes sense.
So the task force is saying try to negotiate for more flexibility in those situations.
Okay,
So you can, adapt if things change in the market.
so it's all about being proactive
Exactly.
and not just passively accepting whatever the standard terms are.
You got to be in the driver's seat.
You got to advocate for yourself.
Absolutely.
Okay, so are there any other specific tactics from the task force that you think are worth highlighting?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What else do they suggest?
Well, they're big on exploring bulk discounts
Okay.
or bundling services whenever possible.
Okay, so kind of like buying in bulk at Costco.
Exactly. Like if you can get a discount by ordering larger quantities or by combining multiple services into one package, it can be a really, really effective way to get more bang for your buck.
Makes sense. So it sounds like a lot of this boils down to just being a savvy negotiator.
It definitely helps to have those skills.
And is that something that the task force provides any guidance on?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
They have a ton of great resources on their website
Oh,
to help you kind of up your negotiation game.
so they're not just telling you what to do. They're also giving you the tools to do it.
Exactly. They want you to succeed.
I like it. All right. So to wrap things up, then it sounds like the big takeaway from the Global Costing Task Force is that managing contracts effectively
Yes.
is not just like a bureaucratic formality.
Right.
It's not just
That's-
paperwork you got to deal with.
No, no, no.
It's actually a really strategic opportunity
A huge opportunity.
to save money and make the most of those resources that you have.
You got to be smart about it.
So before we go, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Okay.
So think about the systems you have in place right now.
All right.
For managing contracts, are they efficient?
Yeah.
Could they be improved?
Good questions.
Maybe it's time to take a fresh look at your processes
Dust things off a bit.
and see if there are any changes you can make to gain an edge.
Always room for improvement.
Keep diving deep.
Keep learning.
I'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.